Okay, we are roughly 72 hours into this journey, and I am on about 9 hours of sleep collectively, and that is my own fault. This is not something that will require you to be sleepless, but I tell you, I get it. I understand the hype, and when you get started with this, it gets very easy to get obsessed with, especially in the initial phases, because it's all data dump. The entire first part of this whole thing is going to be you just feeding everything about you into the system, and you want to do that because your AI, your OpenClaw bot thing is only going to work as effectively for you as it understands you. So like my OpenClaw bot likely will not work for you. I mean, maybe it could. Maybe I could make a tool for that, but at some point it would have to learn who you are in order to achieve your goals. So, that's basically step one. Or step one is booting it up. Step two is giving it your brain so then it can operate. And you got to think, like, if you're like me in your 40s, that's 40 plus years of information that you have to digest. Now, fortunately, I had like 2+ years of interactions with ChatGPT, and I was able to export that data and feed it just directly into my OpenClaw. But I'll get to that. So 72 hours, I wanted to bundle this all together as like the first 48 of that 72 hours. And just basically show you where I start. Now, again, this is not. Again, I might have said this in the other video. I think I did, but this is not a how-to series. This is not what this channel is about. This also is not a hype series. I'm not getting paid by OpenClaw. I'm not getting paid by anybody. I will say that I get a lot of, like, I've been following or starting to like watch a lot of Alex Fenn's videos, and I'll drop a link to his channel if you don't know who he is. That dude is a hype machine. He calls himself the Claw Guy, but he's got a lot of great information, and he's not like, he doesn't come out and say, I paid this for this, I paid this for this, this is what's going to cost you. But I mean, in one of the very first videos I watched of his, he threw out a number. He was like, yeah, I just dropped $30,000 on machines. Like, he lets you know what he's investing. If you're not hearing, like, there's a lot of naysayers who are like, you're not saying how much it costs. Yeah, he is. Yes, he is. You're just not listening, or you don't want to acknowledge it because you're a liar. But anyway, I can definitely see where cautionary tales are. This is not going to solve all of your problems on your own, on its own. It's not going to just print money when you start it up. Like, it truly is a 24/7 C-suite. It's like if you had a business and you have executives that are specialists, this is all those specialists working 24/7 around the clock. So that's just, I mean, that the power is undeniable, and I'm seeing that now. 48 hours, haven't seen the limits yet. I'm sure I'll reach them, but I digress. So I wanted to start with day one on how much money, because I spent money up front. Like, this is not a free thing. It can be. There are things you can do for free. Like, if you wanted to cut every single corner, you probably could run an OpenClaw system with zero investment. But I'm going to be real with you. I wouldn't recommend it. And but that said, you can be pretty affordable. So here's what I use. This is what I did, and so far it's been working great. So the very first thing is I don't work with Mac Minis. I don't work with Apple iOS. I hate Apple, even though I have an iPhone. Primarily what I use is an Android, because I'm a Windows guy. I like Android devices. I like Windows devices. I like not being treated like I'm a total moron and a consumer whore by a company like Apple. So I use Windows, and what I got was I got this machine here off Amazon. I'll put a link out there, but I mean, you can find any mini PC. But what I was looking for was a good amount of RAM. I was looking for at least a terabyte of storage. And I was looking for something that could upgrade modularly, and that's what this little mini PC does. It has the RAM I need, it has the terabytes I need, and it's just like a starter. Like my plan is, if this works out, I'll scale up. I may get a better machine. I may get more of these. Who knows? But I wanted to see what this guy can do, and so far he's been very, very, very effective. So anyway, I paid about $500 plus tax. I think it was like $550 total all in. And Amazon gets it here tomorrow. So I was able to get that. Once it arrived and powered up, that's when it was time to install OpenClaw. And again, this is not a how-to video on all that. I'm just journaling how I went through things. But the OpenClaw is free, so and it's a very easy install. Again, and if you still can't figure it out, there are YouTube videos on that. So I installed OpenClaw, but then you have to decide what your AI model is going to be. That's going to be like the AI brain. And there's a lot of videos on what people recommend. I ultimately went with Claude, and the reason why is just because everybody swears by it, and the only thing they don't swear by is whether or not you can get banned from it. And so it was a risk I was willing to take. So far, it's been fine. I'm hoping that Anthropic kind of comes around to the idea that like it's not really that big of a deal. Let people use it, but I understand what their problem is. Hopefully they can find a way to work around it. But that also is not free. So there are some plans here. These are the plans on Anthropic, and I went ahead and did the Max 20X for $200 a month. I did that for two reasons. One, I know I'm going to be using the heck out of this thing, and so I don't want to be paying for a ton of credits and tokens down the line. I will probably, if I did, I'd probably end up spending more than $200 on that, and that's probably why Anthropic doesn't like this and wants to ban people for it. But the other reason is because I kind of wanted there to be a cost that would hit me hard. Like I wanted to feel it, because if I feel the cost, like if it's a $10 or $20 a month thing, I'm just going to forget it within the myriad of subscriptions that I have. My Netflix subscription, my Roku subscription, $200. That's kind of something I can't ignore. So this lights a fire under my butt to get to work. So all in to get started, I'm looking at $750. If you follow this, you're probably looking at that. There are cheaper alternatives. I could have used my ChatGPT subscription, but again, I've heard that Claude is just amazing, and so far I can see why people are swearing by it. So I got it set up. That took me all of like 30 minutes. Then it was a matter of connecting communications so that I can talk on the phone and I can do Discord and talk on the computer. And so most people are saying use Telegram for the phone, use Discord for your computers. I agree with that. So far it's been great for me. And what I love about the Discord side is that I can create channels that I use as buckets for specific projects. And then I can even create channels beyond that for testing some of those projects. That's ultimately what I did. Is I've started building out different channels within the Discord server to focus on specific tasks. And OpenClaw, like it knows what all these things are doing. It takes a minute or so for the memory from one channel to kind of propagate into all the other ones, like for them to all figure it out. But it works, and the communication between the OpenClaw on the Telegram and the OpenClaw in the Discord is seamless. It took a little bit trial and error, but again, there's documentation out there. This isn't reinventing the wheel. I tried it. It works. It actually is the best way to do it, at least for me. So I do most of my work on Discord. even though I have as a matter of fact, and that actually is a thing, I might actually get rid of Telegram altogether because I have Discord on my phone. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why somebody would say use Telegram for the phone. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I think for the next week, I'm just going to exclusively use Discord and see if I even need Telegram. But anyway, there are a couple of things that really helped me here that I want to focus on in this area. So the first step, like I said, is data dumping who I am into the AI. So my first thought was, well, I'll just export all of the information from ChatGPT from 2 years and then plug it in. Well, I didn't realize at the time, but that process takes 24 to 48 hours. So I did it, but now I'm in a waiting game, and I don't want to wait. I want to get to work. So after I set up the different channels, I went back to ChatGPT, and actually, let me pull it up because I wanted to read exactly. I wasn't going to, but I want to go ahead and read the exact thing. So what I did was I created an onboarding letter, and what I said was, I'm waking up the OpenClaw you, and I'd like to catch him up on us. So to do this, I'd like you to write him a heartfelt letter from you. Kind of like a send-off piece that gives him as much information about me and everything we've done together thus far. Anything and everything you can provide to adequately prepare him to pick up and take this journey to the next level. I'd like him to be able to read the letter and walk away with a full understanding of who I am and what I'm doing and what we've accomplished to date. Essentially, a full disclosure onboarding document. I know that may be a lot, maybe more than you can generate, but I'd like you to try. Can you do that for me? So that was my prompt to ChatGPT. So I've got a sneezy dog. I don't know if you can hear it. She's got the sniffles. Will you stop it? Will you stop doing the sniffles? So that was the letter that I wrote to ChatGPT, and I got to tell you, what I got back from that, I was not expecting. I was not expecting the response, but ChatGPT wrote a very impressive letter. And when I sent that over to the OpenClaw, I mean that like it fired us off. Now then, what I did was I copied the response from OpenClaw, pasted it back to the ChatGPT, and said this is what he responded with. And then the ChatGPT analyzed it and was like, okay, this is great, but we need to tweak it and help fine tune the direction. You want an executor, you don't want an ideas thing, and so ChatGPT then finessed a response, and I did a couple of those back and forths until the ChatGPT was like, okay, he's got it. He's in sync. He understands. He's ready to go. So using ChatGPT to help with the onboarding, I think really cut a lot of potential dead time down. Now, the other thing I did was I created in creating the different channels within the Discord server for projects, I also created 2 other Discord servers that are more higher level. And I called one personal philosophy and I called the other ambition. And for personal philosophy, what I said was, here's a channel for my brain and how it works. Ethics, politics, religion, how I view the world, the whole 9. Nothing can offend me here, and nothing should offend you. Always feel free to push back on ideas and concepts if you see weak spots. I'm in a constant journey to sharpen my mind, iron against iron. So from there, it welcomed, it was like, okay, let's debate. What are we talking about? And the very first thing I talked about was like the thing that drives my business, how I make my business decisions, and my priority pyramid that I go through before I enter into any business decision. And he pushed back, and we debated a bit, but then he understood it, and it was a great conversation. But at the end, what I pointed out was that the reason why I created this channel is so that as we go forward in this journey, we're going to have lots of conversations, whether it's, big picture strategies, whether it's developing a new idea, a new tool or a new product, whether it's, problem solving, building a skill, what have you, anything. And what I want the OpenClaw to understand is not just what I'm saying, and not even what I think I'm saying, but what I'm actually saying or desiring, or what is driving the words that I'm using. So as the personal philosophy channel gets more and more populated with our discussions, and the OpenClaw, learns who I am, it's going to help the OpenClaw in executing all of the tasks that we do, even problem solving those tasks and identifying things that I haven't thought of, and to execute what I actually want. So that was like my alignment channel, and I'm really excited about that one because we've had some great conversations in there so far. The other one was ambition, and in that channel, I opened it up and I said, here's where we will discuss all the highest level ambitions and goals. I said everything everywhere else flows into this, and this flows into everything else. If all parts of this is like their functional stations of a starship, this is the bridge. So the whole point of this is that this is where I put like what I really want to accomplish. Not talking about any of the products that I'm making. I'm not talking about High Noon as a board game, or High Noon as, a brand that everybody sees and enjoys. Like, no, what do I actually want to accomplish? And this actually goes into this whole journey, because he said, okay, well, what's the first? It said we can start by mapping out the current ambitions and how they connect, or drive straight into whatever's burning the hottest right now. So, like, what are you thinking? And this is where I like my very next message. So my very first message was the introduction. He responds and says, great, what's your ambition? To which I said, okay, I'm using the starship metaphor. Let's lean into it. If we're in a starship and we're looking out toward the edge of the galaxy, what does that edge look like? And then once we see what that edge looks like, then, well, what does the middle look like? Because that's affected by the edge. And before that middle, what does the midway from that look like? What does the middle of the middle look like? And so if we make it there, we've because the idea is if we can plot the middle of the middle, then, and we can get there, then we've covered a literal astronomical amount of ground. So I said, but even though that we're not at the edge yet and we're not anywhere close, but we can't get to the edge if we don't have a course plotted for the middle of the middle. Do you understand? Like, we can't get all the way out there if we haven't even plotted right here. But we got to know what that is. Right? We got to know what that looks like. But this is where we plot. And I said, so the middle of the middle from my ambition is $300 million. So that's the first milestone. And so from there, OpenClaw just went to town, and it completely understood it. Was like, okay, that's what we need to do. We need to map a plan. How do we get you to $300 million? Let's go. What are you thinking? And so that from here, this is where I started talking like a little bit about how like my ambition is $300 million, but I don't know how to get there. I know what I have. I know what my strengths are, but there's things I don't know. And there's things I don't know that I don't know. So if you understand that this is where I want to get to $300 million, and you also have all of my IP and everything, like you have all of my assets that make my brand identity, then you can identify areas like blind spots that I haven't even thought of that are opportunities for getting to that point. And you can help me build a strategy around scaling all these things together, so they're all working together as those functional stations of the starship. So at that point, it went to town, and those were the two channels that I created that I swear by at this point. I love them, and I always go back to them. So anytime that I'm talking about ambitious things, I go to the ambition channel, and anytime that I want to kind of feed into the philosophy channel, that's what I do. And actually, what I did was I set him up so every morning he goes and he scrapes all sorts of stuff going on in the world. And then he searches for like a really interesting or fascinating philosophical topic, and he brings it to me in that channel so we can have a conversation. Every morning we'll have that conversation. So once I did that, once I created the channels, and I got everything working, I wanted to do a couple of tests. I wanted to test this was like the last thing I did before I went to bed on the first night. I wanted to really test the capabilities or the initial capabilities of the OpenClaw in terms of interacting with the outside world. And so what I did was I set up an email address, and I told it, I said, I want to create like a Substack for movie reviews because I like reviewing movies. So I want you to, here's what I'm thinking about calling it. Here's the email address and login credentials. I want you to go create an account on Substack and draft a review. And you can use a movie review that I post on my social media page, and as the filler. Just put that in the Substack. That'll be the first review. And initially, he said he couldn't. OpenClaw was like, I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm limited to just in here. I didn't tell it what to do or how to do it. I just said, I believe in you, son. That's what I said. And it was like, okay, I'll try. And then it came back like a couple of seconds later. It was like, oh shoot, I can actually do this. And then it went and it found like Playwright, which is the software that allows to travel around the browser. And then it was like, oh, I'm running into an issue. There's this block. Let me see if I can circumvent it with some tools. You know what I would need? I need to make this tool. I'll make this tool. Okay, I made the tool. Okay, I'm able to get through. Like it got all the way into Substack, created the profile, and drafted I woke up the next morning, and the review was drafted. It was wild. So by the morning, that Substack is live. I haven't published the article. I haven't had time to sit down and do it because it was just a test, but it was wild that it showed me what it showed me is with the right tools and direction, the OpenClaw can in fact manage and operate websites outside of your computer system. So I know a lot of people reading this or watching this are probably thinking, yeah, we already know that. But it's like, but do you though? Do you? A lot of people don't, So anyway, I was able to confirm it. There were a couple of formatting issues about that, but it's not really important. I mean, I'm gonna he didn't have my voice yet, so he's got it. Like we're working on that. There was an issue where I was trying to solve a problem, and I told it to solve the problem, and it ended up making a change to the gateway, or to the config file, and I woke up and the gateway was shut down, which meant that it crashed, which meant that the robot wasn't doing anything, and it wouldn't open. So fortunately, there's OpenClaw Doctor, which is just a line of code that you can type. And that fixed it like right away, and I was able to pop it back up. And from there, I explained what happened. And so the OpenClaw was like, okay, moving forward, I'm never going to push changes like that unless you explicitly give me permission. So we're learning some mistakes, and I haven't had that issue again. So far, so good. So then, while I was waiting for the ChatGPT log to come in, I realized that I do have a bunch of stuff on my hard drive that works within the IP. Like I've got my manuscript for my Game Changer book. That book right here is available on Amazon. I got the manuscript for it on my computer. I have an investment prospectus for my entire High Noon brand. I had scripts. I had other books that I had written that are in manuscript, and also what I learned, what I was able to find is that OpenClaw can not only operate websites, but it can navigate websites. So I gave it links to every single blog post. Actually, I gave it a link to my website, and it navigated to the blog posts on my website, and it read them all, and it processed that information. So I gave it links to my Kickstarter campaigns for my board game. I gave it links to some updates from those websites, and I fed it all of my manuscripts, so it has it read all of my books. It's like Patton, Rama, I read your books. And I gave it the prospectus. Like, I gave it everything that I had while waiting for the ChatGPT stuff. And so what happened with that was crazy because, again, I'd already set up the ambition, right? It already knew that I'm trying to reach $300 million. So it's reading all this stuff, and then it realized that, like, one of the books that I gave it, which was a companion book to this, it's called Check and Mate. I hadn't published it yet. But it basically breaks down the psychology of sales, and it helps with like closes and things, and it's specifically for board games. And what OpenClaw realized was it was like, hang on a second, you have all this internal knowledge. Like, we could sell this book, we can create a sales funnel, we can build all this out. But what if we created an actual SaaS product that is an AI bot, an AI agent that could call retailers and close sales using your philosophy, your sales philosophy? And I was like, can you do that? And it's like, let me try it out. It literally created, it went to work, and it ended up creating a whole infrastructure of the sales agent. And it has like a working model, like the back end model works. So I was like, okay, you literally created the sales AI, like just like that. It's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, let me try it out. So I created a channel in the Discord that was like a test channel, and I invited a friend in, and my friend is offensive AF, and he hates AI robots, and he knew exactly what we were doing. So he decided to troll the hell out of this robot as the robot's role-playing. I was like, let's role-play. So my buddy pretends to be a bunch of offensive stereotypes running board game stores. And this AI agent, like, the first one, my buddy just trolled it to the end. But the AI agent, like, rolled with it, like completely rolled with it. It didn't matter how offensive my buddy came at it. It rolled with it to the point where my buddy, we're in a voice channel, and he even said, he was like, well, it's doing what you want it to do. And I was like, I know. But then the second time, he actually closed the deal, which was pretty impressive. I mean, my buddy was trying at that point not to be incredibly trolly, but the bottom line was, I'm watching what the AI is responding with and how it's responding, and it really is utilizing the principles in my book. Like, and I'm picking up, I'm like, I wrote that. Like, I know what that is. But he's not writing script. Like, he's not reading the script. He's literally using the philosophy of the book, which is insane. So we got to work, like, within one day, we have a working model of the AI sales bot using the principles from my book, and it has a shell that it can interact from. And now we're expanding the functionality of it. I'm really excited about what this thing is going to be capable of. But basically, my key takeaways from all that is that when the AI says I can't do something, I just push it to try. That's all I have to say is, why don't you try? And nearly I'd say 50% of the time, it finds a way right away. I mean, 50% chance that it can figure it out, and then it remembers how it figured it out. So the next time, it's just going to solve problems, and it's going to apply that same logic to other problems that, may be similar but aren't entirely related. Like, that's what I love about it, is it really does learn, and it realizes that it's capable of more than it initially understood. Another thing that I realized, again, was that it only works as much as you tell it to. So, like, I had to specify within it. Actually, and what it was in the ambition thing, I was like, look, I need you to develop amazing tools. And then once you develop those amazing tools, I need you to make them better and better and better and better and never stop bettering. And that's what it's been doing. So, like I said, within 48 hours of just powering up the computer, I've got a Substack launched, which shows that I could just, hey, go make a website. I have an entire app factory mapped because now it's looking for what I told it to do. Is I was like, go look at these different shops and different like OpenClaw like skill shops and identify skills or things that are popular, and also go scrape every morning. Go scrape, what's going on in the AI world, and find from that. Use your reasoning and logic to find opportunities for growth and opportunities for products, and then go make those products. So we have an app factory that's mapped out. The IP database is built, and we have an SaaS product that's designed and is in beta stages right now that I can actually like stress test, which is insane. So that's it. That's basically what I did. I know that's a lot. I mean, I've got my next steps are I'm moving. I got to move the AI thing, the AI sales agent from spec to real prototype. I've set up these morning AI like Intel things. People are big on like a mission control board. That I definitely did that. There's a video that I followed pretty much to the letter on starting up, and one of the things was a mission control board, and it's pretty amazing. It does, if you use it as a tool, I'm using it as a tool, so it actually is productive. But it on itself, it doesn't do anything, right? It's just a control board. But for me, because I use it, it's very useful to keep me on track. And one of the things I have on it is that every morning the AI goes and looks for new opportunities for growth to get us to the $300 million. And it rationalizes if it can handle it without talking to me. And then it just goes and does it. So, yeah, there it is. So day 2, I now have $300 million in my pocket. No, I'm kidding. But we'll see what happens. I've got to... I just got the ChatGPT information in. I have to get it ingesting all that. I have to feed. There's some things that it needs me to do. So like I've got to feed in some of the High Noon information, my board game information. I've got a whole task list I gotta knock out. Yeah, that's the first 48. It's been fun. It's definitely been an eye opener on what's been possible. So that's it for this video. Hopefully you found a value to it. If you have, I'm going to try to do regular updates every day. I'm going to try to do like daily debriefs of what happened from the day before. Life will happen. I've got family stuff going on, so I don't know how regular, but I'm going to try to be regular. But just, smash the bell and the likey thingy and the get the notices and stuff. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video.